Okay. If anyone has any more questions for the Intellectual Power Hour, please let me know. Alright. Is this a meme? Voima Kashker. I think you get like 1. Personally, maybe I'll go as far as 3. Like, if you don't understand how dead naming or misgendering is an insult after doing it 3 times and being corrected, then like, no, you're just stupid. And it's not even really that it's an insult, per se. It's just like,
we managed to.
That's not who you're talking to.
Every last one. Excellent.
Like, you're not talking to the mysterious. That's why, like, whenever someone misgenders me or someone else, I just go, who? Because who are you talking to?
Stop anyone from coming
as far as I'm concerned, you're talking to, like, some imaginary friends. That's because you have a bad memory. I always try to watch the cutscenes.
The holes came out on the other side of the dragon worlds. We found some of the eggs, but they were too heavy to carry back.
The other side of the world?
The other side of the world?
Spyro, you'll have to go. Nobody
sub
else
40.
can get down
Let's
the
get
hole.
sub 50 first.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Here's one thing that is good about the politicization of transgender people in recent culture, is that really, honestly, if you're anything older than like 14, and you don't understand that dead naming or misgendering is an insult, like, hello? You know what I mean? What, like, if there's a good thing about this, it's that. Like, if you really honestly don't understand or know that that's an insult, then you need to get off the internet and, like, isolate yourself in some sort of igloo environment. Like, it's not really any education. Like, it's about as heavy of education as, like, preschool. Apple! You know, like, fucking pencil! Like, it's about as difficult to learn as that. So, like, I can give you a little bit of leeway, maybe, if... I'm talking about maybe, like, America. Most of Europe, you know what I'm saying? Like, if maybe you're Saudi Arabian, like our good friend iColdstone, and, like, trans people get killed in your country, and even thinking of trans people can get you killed, then, like, maybe you have an argument. But, like, if you live in, like, really any developed nation and you don't understand, it's like, what are you doing?
Thank you for it. I'm sorry.
Like, really, that's just, like, something you learn? Like, for real? Ugh.
Yo, Spyro.
It's really just not hard. Anyone that thinks, like, the whole trans thing is hard is just... honestly just a bigot, like, just trying to defend themselves. Like, it's not even remotely difficult. Like, if you're over the age of 14 and have an internet connection that you've had for at least a while, like, no? I don't buy it? Like, I can maybe, if you're like 60 fucking years old, and like, you just lived your life in a transphobic society and you're gonna die soon, I can kind of maybe understand why you'd still think this shit. Also, why the fuck? I guess I'm doing seashell. I didn't mean to do this yet, but whatever, I guess I'm doing seashell. But yeah, if you're like fucking 80 years old and like you just don't understand, like whatever. I think being malicious about it is obviously still garbage. But like if you just can't figure it out and you're 80 years old, like if like your grandma just can't figure it out, like, you know, whatever. It's obviously it sucks, but like I'm not going to be as hard on them. Okay, like if you're 80, you probably have like 16 different forms of dementia. The current discussion is transgender pronouns and dead naming. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, 14, like the absolute limit, really. And that's like right now. I don't want to retroactively make statements. So like being 14 like 8 years ago, that's a different thing than being 14 right now. See, being a bigot is... I'm not calling you a bigot, by the way. Being a bigot doesn't necessarily mean like you are maliciously trying to attack someone. Internalized bigotry is something that like pretty much everyone has in modern society, and it's very difficult to unlearn these things. Like you have to be like unironically woke to unlearn these things.
I saw something.
My immediate family is fucking dumb. None of them either acknowledge the transition. Keep in mind, I haven't come out to them. But I mean, like, lol. Like, the ones that do know it don't acknowledge it whatsoever. And the ones that, like, don't know it, like, obviously don't know it because they're not perceptive. And the fact that they're not perceptive is just cringe. That's why I just want to leave and never talk to any of them again.
Oh, you act right.
But yeah, anyway, I was talking about internalized bigotry. Internalized bigotry is really hard to overcome. And it doesn't make you a bad person. Like...
I saw something.
You can, like, be a good person, but, like, just have shit just ingrained into you that's hard to overcome. Like, if you don't understand how these things can hurt people, then I would say you're just a bad person. But, like, if you do understand, but maybe it takes you a little bit to really fully act that way, I wouldn't say it necessarily makes you a bad person. More so just very, very reluctant to change. Fuck. But it really isn't hard. Also, I'm not reading that, like, link, but, like, what's the thesis of it? I find it weird that it's an archive link that, like, was just linked to a normal article and then I closed it immediately because the loading screen ended. I think there's a definite thing to be said about closed-minded versus open-minded. I've always considered myself open-minded, but I honestly, like, retroactively speaking, wouldn't have considered myself open-minded until, like, maybe even a year ago. Hey, IDDQD. Like, maybe a year ago is where I truly started being open-minded. Like, people like Bagels consider themselves open-minded, which is just like, no, you're not open-minded. Bagels is like one of the most closed-minded people I've ever met, which would go hand in hand with being a narcissist. If you're a narcissist, you assume what you say is correct. And if you're open-minded, like, that means you are capable of reflection. Now, if you have all the correct positions, like, for example, you're a libertarian leftist, right? Like, you know, you're a democratic socialist, you're correct on, like, that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean you're closed-minded. Like, it's not like once you find the correct positions, you're closed-minded. You should always be open to things. Thick? Oh, me? Yeah, I'm very fat right now. Well, okay, and I'm mostly talking about American culture. Like, if you're not American, or, like, in a native language that doesn't even have that kind of stuff, then, like, I'm not speaking of, like, in any sort of educated way about you or your thing. I wish it was that way, like, everywhere. Like, honestly, the pronoun debate is just so fucking dumb. Literally destroys friendships, giga check. Self-righteous, check. Feel justified being mean to people. Oh my god. Did Lilith really link this thinking it was own on me? I'm fat, Skeleman. Like, I'm objectively fat. I want to kill myself right now. I've been in an emotional turmoil state for like the last like month and a half or so, and I've been very, very bad with food. I went from like 138 pounds to like 175 pounds. And like, it's not good. Now, because of obviously the hormone stuff, like most of this weight has gone to my ass and thighs, which is pretty cool. But I'm still fat. I still have a lot of fat cells in my stomach area, which obviously will be there for a very long time. So the fact that I'm currently using those fat cells really is what's really causing me issues when I say I'm fat. God, I just turned my fan off because of the squeaking and now I'm fucking like 15 degrees warmer. Fuck my life. Don't look at the webcam. Ugh.
Thanks again. Hiya, she.
Transphobic doesn't mean malicious intent. People like malicious intent is something people like hide behind a lot, and I think it can be a genuine defense, but that doesn't make the content. Okay, there's a difference between saying the content is transphobic versus the people are transphobic, like I was saying earlier. The content was without a doubt transphobic. There is no debate there. It is transphobic. Whether or not you want to say the people are transphobic is open to interpretation. I wouldn't consider either of them transphobic, necessarily. Now, it's possible they are, and that content on its own can definitely make you perceive them as transphobic. But I don't know. And because I like giving people the benefit of the doubt, I would like to assume they aren't. Thanks, Jans. I try my best. Although I'm sure that's ironic. It just is. I mean, what do you want from me? It's 2018, like 3-ish years since this, like, the most popular speedrunner of all time had the most popular, like, transition, like, on the internet. Like, let's be real. Is there a transition of anyone on the internet that's as popular as Narcissa Wrights? Like, what's number 2? Like Caitlyn, like, or number 1, like Caitlyn Jenner maybe? Like, just as a whole? Like, like, are there really many, like, popular transitions? I don't know, like, if you're a speedrunner, like, you know this. Like, I really don't understand how you can really have a defense there. And again, we're talking about the content on its own, objectively. Like, again, you can say those people aren't transphobic, but, like, that content in the current time period is definitely transphobic. As that content is spoken in a way that assumes that, you know, Narcissa is not Narcissa and is someone else. I feel like the squeaking is... I'm more annoyed by it because people mention it on stream. I don't know how annoying the squeaking is. I really hope it's not, like, actually that big of a deal. No irony detected. Oh, boy. No, she just put porn up. I don't care about either of those, so my opinion is okay.
Okay, Drek.
I wouldn't assume that. I wouldn't assume they didn't have any ill intent. I would say... let me read the rest of your thing first. Now again, like I said, the content versus the people. Like I said, the content is transphobic for factual reasons, like it's not debatable. What the people think and their reasoning isn't necessarily related to the content. Like, as a person that literally did not know either of them, like, I don't know who either of those people are, and I've never seen them before in my life, and I will most likely never see them again in my life. So them as people are irrelevant, to me, especially. Like, I'm not going to call them transphobic, because I don't think they are, and I would give them the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, by the way...
But I mean, like, you really can't debate that the content... Like, the intent isn't relevant when you look at the content. How much do you have to pay for me to get 6x9 iron hair? I don't know. Shoot me an offer. Also, IDDQD, what the hell are you talking about? Now look at Protomagical, that's a woman who has figured it out. What has she done that you haven't? What? Hello? $10? I don't think that would cover the cost.
Hi, Spyro.
The intent is relevant for sure in judging the people. Now this is when I go back to saying, like, if it's like an obvious comedy skit or something where you immediately know that what these people are saying isn't going to be something that they actually believe, then I would agree with that. But this guy's literally being interviewed, saying that, like, his Lord and Savior is, like, Narcissa's dead name, and, like, a deadpan, no apology. Like, their intent isn't relevant to the words spoken. But again, I'm not going to judge them, like, with malicious intent. You have to learn how to divorce the content from the people. I think that's the issue here that we're facing, is divorcing the content from the people. My opinion on Proto Magical Girl is she's very cringe. She's a very, very big... She's very big on virtue signaling, in my opinion. And, she plays team too much. Like, she does the whole, like, team SJW versus team everyone else kind of thing in areas where it doesn't really apply. Like, the most recent thing I've seen from her is where she's, like, rallying against Bitcoin because, like, it's, like, libertarian garbage. And, like, it like, that doesn't really mean anything. I don't know. She's very cringe. She also blocks people way too liberally, in my opinion. Now, again, she can do whatever the fuck she wants, but... not my thing. I don't like being blocked for saying something that's not even remotely bad? IDDQD. What? Anyway, my plan when it comes to, quote, getting back in the community is I'm going to spend a significant amount of time rebuilding and reforming the Cyberdemon brand. And I'm going to be doing so with a lot of non-speedrunners. I'm going to give you guys my roadmap and master plan here. Putting myself in a bunch of different outlets, especially non-speedrunners, and reforming the brand from edgelord to like SJW maximalist is the goal. And like once I get to a point where I'm successful enough in that venture, that's when I'm going to start like going in speedrunning hardcore again. Not to say that I'm not going to speedrun, like physically speedrun video games hardcore, but when I mean like going into speedrunning, I mean like seeing if I can get like, say, unbanned from Twitch, joining marathons, interacting with people, that kind of shit. But I don't really, and the only reason I would love to do that is for spite. Like, I don't actually like speedrunners. Like, as I said before, I don't like speedrunners. And I don't know if those opinions would be changed, but I really don't like speedrunners. So it's not for anything other than spite.
Oops.
That I would ever want to re-enter the speedrunning community. Spite and attention. Like that's it. And like, okay, so like I said, I hate the speedrunning community, and I hate speedrunners as a whole. And when I say I hate speedrunners, I mostly mean popular cliques, right? And I mean like the big members of the speedrunning, like hierarchy, like that kind of shit. Fucking on tape. IDDQD, like, what are you doing here? Like, you come to my stream, like, for the first time in, like, a year and a half, and you're just spewing a bunch of garbage? Like, what is the motive? Anyway, but yeah, the idea is to build the brand in a different fashion. Like, that shit's not going to be relevant if I've got, like, everyone else I know knowing that that's not even remotely accurate. Like, everyone that's, like, knows me already knows that that's not accurate. But if I can amass, like, public opinion being that's not accurate, and then, like, if I were to get into speedrunning again and people would try to pull that shit on me, like, the public opinion of other people would outweigh that. That's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. And it's very easy, it just takes time. Which is why I'm, like, infiltrating social justice circles, expanding the shit that I do from, like, just speedrunning to, like, cryptocurrency stuff. And I've got, you know, quite a few people from crypto stuff. Movie reviews. I've gotten a few people, like, watch some of my other videos from those and, you know, that kind of stuff. It's a slow process. What did I just say the other day? What did you just say the other day? You say a lot of things, Zarhawk. Don't announce my master plan. I mean, it's a good plan. But I honestly, like, I don't care about what cringe-lord speedrunners think about me. Like, that's beyond irrelevant, because I don't really like them anyway. Oh, fuck, I missed it. This is like the worst fucking portal. I hate it, I hate it. Queer Eye series. What is Queer Eye series? There we go.
I have to.
But yeah, there is no ace in the hole as far as I'm concerned. Like okay, let me just say this. 99% of the people that like think I'm a racist that I've ever interacted with are like themselves racists and mad at me for like quitting their team. Very, very few people that I've met that aren't actually like racist themselves actually think I'm a racist. And like having a very simple conversation with them like usually involves like them understanding the actual like reality behind that. Which I think is really funny. What does that mean, IDDQD? Dude, Private Cinnamon Bun, you realize the Twitch ban was because I was posted on Livestream Fail? Livestream Fail is a Reddit dedicated to racism. Subreddit dedicated to racism. Like, yeah. They're like edgelord trolls. They like all spew fucking venomous garbage themselves and just like to own people. Like they're irrelevant.
Mission accomplished.
The moderator actually came in here the other day and said that the subreddit was nuked and remade. So I haven't actually looked into it because I don't care, but... That's not relevant, Private Cinnamon Bun.
Quick march, Spyro.
Quick march, Spyro.
Bumbling, idiotic, worthless.
Also, why did I split? I wish. Do you dislike that you're from Saudi Arabia? No, I just dislike Saudi Arabian governments.
My tactically.
Saudi Arabia is one of the worst countries on earth. I also dislike the American government, which is also one of the worst countries on earth. That doesn't mean I dislike people from being from those countries. The United States may be the worst country on earth, honestly. Like, as far as, like, the whole world policing thing, the whole war on terror thing, like, that's had so much negative influence and negative impact on the entire fucking planet that, like, what the fuck? Like, a lot of bad countries are just bad countries, and they're like, their countries suck, but like, you know, that's, their countries suck, and it's shit that their countries suck for sure, but like, their country sucking doesn't really impact everything else. America, on the other hand, because of the war on terror and the world police kind of thing, their like shitty policies literally impact fucking everything. Like, this is like, we're like one of the biggest world superpowers. Everything we do matters. And almost everything that we've done that matters is like fucking garbage. So when I say that America is one of the worst countries, if not the worst country, that's what I mean. America, like, if you, there's a poll, that's like a worldwide poll, a majority of people on planet Earth think that America is the biggest threat to world peace. You can feel free to look that up and post in chat if you want. So, by those parameters, I'd say it was China. I mean, I know enough about China to agree with you, and like that's why I wouldn't say America's flat out the worst, but I would say it's one of the worst, if not the worst. Meaning, I'm open to the idea that something like China maybe is worse. I'm not full of shit. See, I'm good.
Welcome to...
I don't think any trans people think they're entitled.
Some bear.
Well, I mean, you're entitled to basic respect and to not feel uncomfortable just by talking to, like, anyone ever. Like, everyone is entitled to that, I think, or at least should feel entitled to that. Like, here's the thing, like, when you talk about your mother, do you call your mother he all the time? Like, if you don't, then, like, how would your mother react? She'd probably feel a little bit confused if you just did it over and over and over again. And if you just did it, like, every single day for her entire life, just referred to her as a man constantly in all contexts, it'd probably be fucking annoying. Like, the thing, like, where trans people, or not cis people, I mean, say, like, oh, well, you know, if someone calls me a girl, I don't care. Yeah, try being called a girl literally every single day for your whole life, and then being discriminated against as if you were a girl, like, every single day for your entire life. Like, that's what trans people do. So, like, when trans people come out, right, and they're, like, transitioning, or in some instances, like, fully transitioned, or, like, passable in a lot of contexts, and you still go out of your way to, like, oh, I don't know any better, call them a man, then, like, you have to understand that, like, how and why that is damaging. You'd get slapped? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you had, right, if you had to, like, live your life every single day wearing, like, a fucking dress and fucking, like, a thong and, like, fucking a sun visor every single day for your entire life, and if you didn't want to, like, you'd get fucking beaten the fuck up. Imagine that being your life. You'd probably get uncomfortable after a while. Like, maybe at first it'd be like, well, social experiment, haha. But, like, when you put up with that shit for, like, 20 fucking years, you'd probably get a little bit pissed. So when someone implies that you should just deal with it, like, you have to understand that that's not like, you've dealt, like, like, when people say deal with it in these contexts, like, you have to understand that these people have already dealt with it for, like, literally forever. Like, their entire lives up until a certain point. Why is so much weight being put on a label? What label? Define exhibit and define wishes. Oh my god, 7. What? Cinnamon, what is your argument? Like, do you not know what labels are? Because it sounds like you don't know what labels are. Like, you don't. It sounds like you don't understand the purpose of a label, or like the objective reality of what labels represents. This whole, like, you have to earn respect meme is like, that's cringe. Like, you don't have to earn respect. Like, I give everyone a certain, like, okay, here's my thing. Right? If you bump into a stranger on a fucking busy street, and then, like, do you say sorry? Do you say, oops, my bad? That's called basic respect. We're not talking about, like, saying, oh my god, are you okay? Is everything alright? I didn't mean it, I'm sorry. That, like, no, we're talking about basic fucking respect. Like, if you're saying everyone should be treated as garbage dirt, and then they have to build up from that, that's just stupid. In my opinion, if you're gonna say respect should be earned, then yeah, but there should be a starting point. I would say, like, if you're gonna say represented a 1 to 100, right? Everyone should start at 50, and they should earn getting above 50, And if they fuck up, they should go below 50. However, I would also argue that, like, gender stuff is just not, like, like, I wouldn't say that there's no reason. Like, there is no reason to ever misgender someone. So, like, if someone is zero respect, I would still misgender them. Blair White, for example. I think Blair White is one of the worst, if not the worst, trans people that exists in, like, political culture. But I'm not gonna call her a man, because that's just fucking cringe, and that goes against my morals. Cinnamon Bun, what are you doing? Keeping score. Literally everyone does this. Like, hello? This is called being a human. If people go out of their way to fuck you over and over, like, you're probably going to be more apprehensive to treat them with kindness and respect in return. Like, that's called being a person. Acting like a sociopath. Jesus Christ. But, like, this is like the 15th time you've done this meme, and it's pretty cringe. That example is pretty good. Dude, thanks. No, at Void, trans people aren't demanding that. That's like, no, that doesn't exist. You think that because you don't know trans people? Like, how many trans people do you know, Void? I'm gonna guess, like, I'm probably the only one that you know. Maybe you've heard of a few other people. But, like, how many trans people have you actually interacted with? Also, to answer Cinnamon Bun's question on labels a little bit more explicitly, rather than, like, Dog's example, which is good, but not good enough. Gender dysphoria, right, means you hate the way you look, and you want to look better. You want to look like, you know, the gender you want to look like. So if everyone around you is constantly calling you the gender you don't want to look like, and everything in your life, well, not everything in your life, but one of your biggest fears in your life, I guess, is not looking like that gender that you want to look like, that label means a lot to you by default. That's why labels are so important to trans people. So important, as if, like, that's bad. Like, it's like having labels be important isn't a bad thing. The fact that Cinnamon Bun and I have had this conversation, like, so many times, and he still, like, asks these questions makes me a little bit apprehensive to, like, even bother, but, like, I'm trying. Are you comparing gender dysphoria to, like, body dysmorphia? Because those are two different things.
If you see him.
I'm trying to, well, okay. I don't know what that means, Adrian. What pack? You keep saying that, and I keep saying what pack, and then you're not telling me? Like, backing up Dog there. Okay. If someone just started calling you, like, a Muslim, and then, like, started treating you like a Muslim, and then started, like, acting as if, like, you're a Muslim, would that just kind of make you a little bit fucking, like, wouldn't you cringe? Like, oh, why is this person doing that? Also, am I 0 lives? Because I'm not 0 lives. Fuck me. Okay, we're good. Well, here's the thing, Voy. You're kind of like how you're speaking right now. No one really actually behaves that way. Like, no one goes like, "Did you assume my gender?" No one says that. Like, that's a purely fucking, like, cis-created phenomenon that doesn't exist in reality.
Spider.
Literally 0.0000000% of trans people have ever said in any context, seriously whatsoever, "Did you assume my gender?" Like, that's not a thing people do. So, like, when you, like, say, like, "Oh, all trans people are entitled," like, no. Like, that's not actually reality. That's, like, the cis caricature. It's basically, like, blackface, but for trans people. Like, that's literally what you're doing. Like, that's blackface for trans people. Like, unironically. Fuck. Don't care still. Oh my god. See, the thing is, like, with cis people, they just don't understand. If someone treats you like that for, like, 20 fucking years, and if you're, like, a late transitioner, like, 40, 50 years, if someone treats you that way, the "I don't care" lol, like, no, you can't possibly know if you care. In what way is what close? Assuming gender, in my opinion, by seeing someone, you can pretty safely assume their gender. In an online chat room, I think you should always treat people as if they're non-binary until you have, like, conclusive reasoning not to. I always try to say they instead of he or she when it's people I don't know. Oh? You actual trans people. First of all, there is no such thing as you actual trans people. I would prefer if you never said that again. But these jokes aren't, like, these jokes are originating by cis people. Trans people don't do this stuff. Like, that's the thing, like, cis people have, like, made this up almost entirely. Just like similarly how, like, white people, like, invented blackface to make fun of black people. Like, it's basically the same shit. It's the normal, like, state of being, like, not wanting or giving leeway at all into the slight minority, and then just, like, making fun of them. And then, like, pretending they're all like that. Like, if you were to go back into, like, the 1940s, in, like, Alabama, you'd find very, very almost identical, like, shit that you're seeing right now, and that, like, you're kind of regurgitating. And it's not necessarily malicious intent. I'm not calling you a bad person. Like I said, sometimes this shit is just, like, it's kind of just ingrained and it's hard to unlearn. But that's just kind of how it is. And those stereotypes, because that's what they are, they're stereotypes, they still exist for everything. But I think that the trans stereotypes are particularly harmful. What? Atvoy? There's no such thing as a real trans person, because there's no such thing as a fake trans person. That's why I said don't say real trans person, because that's not a thing. I'm not necessarily criticizing you, I'm just giving you information so that you can change your behavior positively in the future. A militant trans. Trans is an adjective, not a noun. Also, what is being militant?
That's it. I've had enough.
But you can't have a real something if there's no fake on the like the opposite end of the spectrum. So if there's no fake, then there's no real, and thus just trans people. That's it.
This might be our...
All of this. What is all of this? This is called reality? Like, like hello? What is all of this? Do you not like truth? Do you not like logic or reason or... Like, what is the problem? I don't get it. But you did say something offensive, though? Now, if you say something offensive on accident, like, I'm not calling you a fucklord, you know, like, it's okay. But you said real trans people, which implies that some trans people are fake. Which I'm telling you that no, not all, like, there is no such thing as a fake trans person. That's like a cis-created phenomenon. I don't know what that means, IDDQD. What does that mean? What the fuck? Oh, Buzz is on the field. Holy shit. You can just exist. What is... What is with, like, why are people arguing with me right now and, like, they're not being? Like, I'm being very concise, right? I'm being very specific. And then, like, you have Cinnamon Bun, like, you can just exist. All of this. Like, hello? You're gonna disappear? Are we cool? I mean, I guess. I just don't know what you're saying. I can't understand. Help me out here. Okay, bye, though. If you're actually leaving, then bye. What's going on here? That's a good question. I don't like when my hair is on my back. It makes me look like a fucking Neanderthal.
Spyro.
Well, like, what is being a militant trans person? Like, I don't know what that means. Like, it's called just being, like a social justice activist. Like, are you saying social justice is bad? Like, what's bad about social justice? Like, the modern, like, social justice shit is, like, the equivalent to, like, civil rights and, like, the 1970s or 60s. Like, it's called wanting a better life for everybody. Like, if you don't want to see tweets about, like, discrimination and how to fix discrimination, like, you can feel free to unfollow me. But, like, I don't understand what the goal is. Should I not be conscious of the issues in society and work toward fixing them? Because, like, no. Causes anxiety for yourself? Not really. I'd have more anxiety if I didn't talk about this stuff than talking about it. I think it just makes you uncomfortable because your ideas and thoughts are being challenged and you can't really rationalize them to, like, call them loony. So, like, I think that's just making you more uncomfortable than me, honestly. Feel free to, challenge that statement. Okay, Voy. There is no... Okay, you're saying demand as if it's, like, a bad thing? Wow, holy fuck. Holy fuck, holy fuck. Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Okay, I got this. I got this. Okay, my social justice activism is gonna be in a PB again. Okay, Cinnamon Bun, I understand where you're coming from, because I used to be the same way. I used to be, like, anti-feminist, because, like, oh, I want everyone to have equal rights. So that's where you're coming from. You want everyone to have equal rights, but guess what? A lot of people don't have equal rights. Focusing on the groups that don't have equal rights is how you give them equal rights. I'm not saying trans people should be ahead of cis people. Well, actually I am. Like, I'm better than you. But, jokes aside, focusing on the issues of the group that I'm a part of is, like, because I'm a part of that group. Like, if you're saying that, like, I should be more, like, aware of race issues, like, I'm very aware of race issues. But it's not, like, the first and foremost, because I'm not, like, directly oppressed by them. Like, it's still something I'm very concerned with. And, like, I love to, like, listen and discuss and read about this kind of stuff and work on fixing my own internal issues that I might have if I, like, see them, like, arise. But it's not my first and foremost thing because it doesn't directly affect me. That doesn't mean I'm not actively researching this kind of stuff or anything like that. I do, like, almost all of my time these days off stream is spent researching, like, social justice shit. Whether it be race, gender, whether it be sex, like, shit, like, almost all of my time. Okay, so Voy, if you said 3 plus 7 equaled like 37, and someone told you, actually, 3 plus 7 equals 10, would you say, how dare you demand I do math? You're entitled to me saying the correct answer. Because that's basically what you're doing to me right now. Like, I'm just giving you information, like, objectively accurate, correct information, and you're acting as if, like, I'm entitled when that's not the case. You're just wrong, and I'm correcting you. Now, it's okay to be wrong. Like, you can be wrong. I've been wrong. Everyone's been wrong. But, like, when you're, like, wrong, you don't want to double down on being wrong. That's it. Wow, holy fuck, nice PB. You don't want equal rights. You even want certain reparations for past misjustices. That's still, like, that's still equal rights, though. Like, that's giving people something that they need to reach equality, in that case. Unless you think, like, slave ancestors should just permanently be first-class citizens and everyone else should be second-class citizens. But, like, the whole point of reparations is to even the playing field. So, like, black people right here, white people right here, the reparations bring them up here, and then they're equal? That's the point? I'm like, do you want them to be up here? Because that, like, I don't know, like... And you can even say reparations to the point where they get up here, and then, like, there'll be, like, a slower evening out. Like, the whole point of reparations is the end goal of equality.
Seems to have disappeared again, so I should go make sure he's not in more trouble. You haven't seen him, have you?
Huh? Me?
But, like, if you're gonna argue that, like, they should be given higher class priority because of that, and then, like, that would be something that would eventually even out, I can understand that, and I would probably agree with that. Obviously, you know, if you're gonna enact something like that, like, as a policy, you'd need to, like, really iron out the details, but as a basic concept, I would be down with, like, temporary, like, I guess supremacist, like, kind of shit like that. But, like, that doesn't say that you should take anything away from other people. It's like, when I say supremacist, that's, like, a bad word choice.
Are you gonna visit me in Avalar?
Sure, Alora.
But, like,
Have to find the rest of the eggs and,
don't
well,
do this.
disappeared again.
You should do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't detract from other people's experiences. Only add to the one group. To even out the playing field. Because, like, for the most part, like, it's, like, there's really no debate on whether or not people are just behind. So I think, and especially given the fact that we're the richest country on planet Earth, we being America, of course, we should just, like, work on improving everyone's happiness.
I mean, I'm sure he will turn up soon.
promise you'll come visit Avalar soon, okay?
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that, Private Cinnamon Bun. But, like, that's the whole point of social justice, is to work toward equality. So when you say I'm militant or whatever, that's just because, like, I mean, you can't deny that trans people get shit on, like, 99% of the time by everyone.
Hold that thought.
So?
Spyro, great to see ya.
Hi, Sheila. I've been looking for Hunter all day. Have you seen him?
Sorry, Spyro. Hunter made me promise not to tell you where they went.
Hey.
You didn't hear
I mean,
anything
Voy,
from
you'd
me.
still be wrong. The point is to, if you're wrong, be right afterward.
No.
Like, I'm not, like, yelling at you, I'm not, like, fucking pushing you down and fucking, like, putting my, like, foot on your fucking face and, like, kicking you into the dirt. I'm just saying, hey, bud, this is actually what you're supposed to think. Like, yeah, 3 plus 7 equals 10, not 37.
It's a sad sight,
Like,
Sparks.
I'm just
Another
giving you
noble
the answer.
warrior falls victim to the plague of love.
Most of the time, all the
Look
time.
away. Well, I guess we'll have to find the rest of the eggs by ourselves.
Come on,
Am I Malcolm
Spyro.
X?
Take a little
What?
break. Let's watch the show.
How are you comparing, like, okay, what version of Malcolm X are we using here? Are we using the, like, let's just kill all the white people Malcolm X, or... Because I don't think that. I'm not taking a Malcolm X approach. I wouldn't take an MLK approach either. I don't think fully non-violence and pacifism is the answer. That's not to say I want to start killing people. I wouldn't say violence is the answer. But being forceful of your ideology, I think that's definitely the answer. Like, I think being able to rationally and reasonably explain things that most people would be able to understand and accept is definitely a way to do it. You're demanding me to use language differently even though nobody else has a problem with how I speak. Okay. When you call your dad he doesn't have a problem with that because he's a he. That's why? Like, that's why. I'm surprised that PB didn't Spyro. This is cool. I really need to start doing video essays. Doggy, you should help me get a format for fucking video essays. I'm gonna start doing fucking social justice video essays. Centrists, I think, are the biggest problem. Centrism is, like, because most people are centrists, and most people have this, like, I'm in the middle, I'm not an extremist, thus I'm better kind of mentality. Centrists are fucking garbage. You could say brain chemistry is one of many things that can determine your gender. I mean, I gave you all the solutions, Voy. Like, the solutions exist, and they have existed forever, and I gave you them, so... Like, if you have any other questions, like, let me know, but... I'm giving you the solutions right now. Nakey Jakey's, Jake Eyes, I don't know who that is. Also, did I Cold Stone really leave before this runs over? What a fucking bitch. Coming up next is T-Hawk. No. Private Cinnamon Bun? Okay, first of all, we have to accurately ascertain what both sides are. Like, when it comes to social justice, equality is on one side, genocide is on the other side, okay? That's usually the scale that we're dealing with in modern society and politics. Is, I want equal rights, I want fucking genocide, kill these people. That's the scale. You can argue with the accuracy if you want, but that's the fucking scale, okay? So when you're in the middle of that, like, no, that's not middle ground. Equality is the correct, like, position. To budge on equality, like, no, you don't budge on equality. That's correct. Anyone who's, like, not for equal rights is just like, no. Now you can debate how to achieve equal rights. That's fine. But if we're on equal rights versus not equal rights, no, there is no middle. Middle doesn't exist. Hi, Ecclestone. You missed it. I almost got like an instant fucking proxy. It was awesome. Now on the subject of equal rights, okay, so, Private Cinnamon Bun, notice my language. Equal rights, not equal rights is the scale. It's not black supremacy, white supremacy. Equal rights, not equal rights. So the people you provide in your example are on the not equal rights end. That's something you're missing out on here. Yeah, only kill some. Fucking only kill some. Oh my god. Fucking. Ugh. Repeat the last minute. Okay. Where your misunderstanding is you misunderstood my scale. One end is equal rights. This end is not equal rights. So you're considering this to be as a basic racial example, black supremacy, white supremacy. But that's not the scale I used. I used equality, inequality as my scale. So black supremacy is still on the inequality end of the spectrum. Is the point here? You're misunderstanding my scale and how it works? Which is a common unwoke perspective. Equal rights is not the center of this kind of perspective, though. Anything outside of wanting equality is not correct. The filibuster? Oh my god. Well, I am 10 minutes ahead of schedule, Ozarhawk. Let me take this 10 minutes, get it out, and then we'll T-Hawk. Okay, Cinnamon Bun. Centrism is cancer. Okay. 101, a video essay by Cyberdemon. The reason why centrism is cancer, especially in the modern political climate, let's take class. So let's remove, like, character traits and just go with class. So, centrist. Oh my god. Okay. So, rich people right now. So, okay, the way American politics right now, the way the social structure and hierarchy works right now, okay, is that poor people are the victims of genocide. Now, you can debate that if you want, but you'd be incorrect. So, let's look up the definition of genocide. Okay. The deliberate killing of a large group of people, especially those of a particular ethnic group or nation. Okay. So, it's a genocide of poor people occurring in the United States of America. Okay. So, poor people don't have access to healthcare. Rich people have access to healthcare. Okay. 40,000-ish people die per year because we don't have good healthcare in this country. Okay? That's not an extremely broad definition of genocide. That is the literal and factual definition of genocide. That is not pretty important whatsoever. Systematic oppression and genocide are the same thing in this context. Genocide is with the intent to perform harm on a certain group of people. The rich people want to harm the poor people for their own financial gain. Okay? If you don't understand that, then you're being a puppet. Like, there is no middle ground there. Like, what is your counter? Are you like, okay, so, okay, hold on, let me get you an article. Okay. Read this article. Literally, read this article. Here's the headline. Seniors are more conservative because the poor don't survive to become seniors. What does this article explain? Why old people are conservative. Why? Because the poor people don't get to fucking live that long. No, you can't know. This is a genocide, okay? It's just not a deliberately open in the air genocide. The people in power know what they're doing. They understand what they're doing, and they're doing it anyway, because they want their own personal gain. Group. Yes, group death. Poor people. Poor people are dying. Okay, a group. Poor people. Dying. Okay? Poor people are dying. It's not genocide, though. Like, read this article. Like, hello? Like, are you not gonna, like, are you just gonna pretend I didn't post factual information? Please? No, you please. Like, read the article. Deliberate actions. Okay? Yes. Ted Cruz arguing on Congress floor about how healthcare is the equivalent to Lamborghinis. Okay? That's deliberately denying people access to healthcare. It is deliberate. To assume the politicians that are currently in power aren't sacrificing your livelihood for their own gain is ignorance. Why do you think that lobbyists pay off, like, politicians to lower the corporate tax rate? And why do you think that this shit started to happen, like, over the course... Okay, so, like, do you know how the Great Depression happened? Because... like, tax cuts for the rich create a boom-bust cycle, okay, where everyone's like, woo, yay! And then all of a sudden... So, okay, when the economy is doing really well, everyone is happy. When the economy is doing really poorly, only the rich people are happy. So right now, we're in the middle of another boom-bust cycle. This is what happened in 2008, okay? The recession happened. You want to know what happened in the recession? The banks got fucking bailed out, and you want to know what they also got? Fucking bonuses. You want to know who didn't get bonuses? All the people who lost their fucking houses. Okay? That's currently going to happen again very soon if this shit continues on the path that it is. You can't fool me. Oh my god. Fuck. The modern political class are definitely Nazis. They're just crypto-Nazis. Okay? That's the thing you don't understand. To imply that just accidentally the political people in power over the last 30 or 40 years just accidentally did all this is foolish. And even if it was accidental, they're still harming people and killing people, so it's still their fault. Like, when you have a fucking, like, $3 million in your bank accounts and you lose your house, guess what? You can just buy another fucking house? I'm gonna bust your ass in a second here, Private Cinnamon Bun. You're being a puppet right now? Dance, puppet, dance? Okay, Private Cinnamon Bun. There are 6 people that work in a McDonald's restaurant. One of them is the manager. The manager is leaving. So all 5 of the other people want to become the manager. Guess what? There's only going to be one manager. So 4 of those people are still going to be in their shitty fucking job. One of them is going to become the manager. And maybe even 5 of them are going to stay the shitty job and they're just going to import another manager. Okay? Yes, people can succeed in capitalism. No, not everyone succeeds in capitalism. No, it isn't because of hard work. When you become a certain level of skill, everything after that is luck, okay? So, like, say 3 of those 4 people are qualified to become the manager. Still, only one of them is going to become the manager. Holy fuck, there's a spider on my wall. Holy fuck. Oh my god, it's dangling in the air! Oh my god, okay. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Okay, hold up, hold up. I think I got it. Okay, anyway. So because there's a few people that were poor and managed to not be poor anymore, that doesn't mean that all the other poor people just somehow stop existing or they don't work as hard. Where's T-Hawk? And like I said, they're not Nazis outright, they're crypto-Nazis. Meaning they believe in the same ideologies, but they just don't talk about it on the surface. Now, obviously, there are actual Nazis that exist, and they're very adamant and open because crypto-Nazis are in power. Which is why, like, the rise of fucking, like, hate crimes and shit like that and all that, you know, kind of stuff. Where the fuck is Tony Hawk? I don't know where Tony Hawk is. I mean, some are capitalist pigs, but to deny that crypto-Nazis exist and have influence is just kind of ignorance. I don't know where T-Hawk is. What? Okay, Cinnamon Bone, what don't you understand? Keep in mind, this is all going to be in my Spyro video. My Spyro video, like, people are going to look up, oh, hey, Spyro speedrun, and then they're going to get, like, social justice fucking 101. They're going to get how to be a social justice warrior 101, featuring Cyber1531, which is part of my master plan, by the way. Like, when I want people to think of my name, I want people to think of this. Where the fuck is Tony Hawk? Did the Nazis steal my video game? I see Street Skater, but I don't see fucking Tony. I think the fucking Nazis stole my fucking game. First they steal my rights, and now they steal my fucking video game. Holy shit. Okay, what do we got? Nobody is going to do that. Nobody's going to do what? I'm assuming evil exists. I'm also assuming my Tony Hawk's Pro Skater exists, but that seems not to be the case. That is apparently not something that exists. What is your position here? Is this it? I found it. Okay.